castrar al 25% de la población. ¿A qué está diciendo ella que no? No, pero si a nosotros nos cortan el clítoris y no pasa nada. Hacer que los hombres dejen de gobernar para que nos den el poder a nosotros. ¿Voluntariamente lo van a hacer? No. La castración selectiva. Si tú le cortas los huesitos a los niños al nacer, no solo no van a poder tener hijos, sino que no van a desarrollar una serie de hormonas que no le van a dar fuerza física. Y yo tengo mi idea de hormonas.
It is not surprising the feminist folly of demasculation started in Sweden, as it is the first feminist governed country of the world. So, in an old traditional feminist fashion, women started to come up with their usual petty nonsense to take away manhood, one step at a time. Where in the US men got arrested for manspreading, where Spain made it possible for women to get men arrested for flatulence, the Swedish feminist government wanted to make urinating while standing illegal for men.
Men should be required by law to urinate in a sitting position, partly because it leaves toilets cleaner and promotes prostate health, partly as an appeal for reason.
Illegal as it may become for men to urinate while standing up, women proudly designed devices to urinate while standing up, calling it
inequality. They're also taking a whiz. That's how they're taking a stand. Ms. Whiz is a female urination device, the modern woman's weapon against inequality and unsanitary toilets. Ms. Whiz, the equalipotty, because equality is number one.
I had read about a school in Norway that officially banned boys stand-up peeing.
Don't let anything stop you from living your life. How you want it, when you want it, and now, standing up. Ah, the tinkle bell.
It wasn't for the persistence of these women, whom slowly but surely are taking the agenda of demasculation of men to grim and dangerous levels. In Gillette's controversial anti-toxic masculinity ad, men, as usual, are portrayed as these smoky butch suckers with a barbecue growing out of their chest, while their male kids are fighting, and males have to stop other males from communicating or flirting with women.
Not cool, not cool.
Perhaps not the smartest move, as the targeted male market will no longer have facial hair and feminists don't shave. Recently it has become downright demeaning, like Sarah Silverman's line,
"Sorry, it's a boy."
"Sorry, it's a boy," in the 2015 T-Mobile Super Bowl commercial. This is where the conditioning of male image starts to become dangerous. If we look at the original alpha, beta, gamma, delta and epsilon hierarchy structure created by Aldous Huxley in his 1932 utopian dystopian novel Brave New World, continual repetition of nurses conditioning the toddlers in a certain way so that it is driven into their brain beyond adulthood to behave in a certain way.
Today, I'll do hon, han eller hen idag. Ska jag säga hon eller hen? If they should call you hon, han eller hen. Han, han, you want them to call you hen? Hon, han eller hen. You want them to call you hen?
Many feminists today are Aldous Huxley's nurse.
I'm the mother of a young son, and I'm raising my son as a feminist.
We are going to parent a generation of boys that are part of the solution rather than the problem.
Because feminism isn't just about women, it's about everyone. It is about everyone!
Everyone!
And never have we been so unaware of this horrifying male morphing which is happening in front of our eyes. Men now are altered and modified in various ways, and if you think of the way Aldous envisioned it, it gets frighteningly close to his vision in Brave New World. Because remember, men are currently being stripped of everything they own. However, there is one specific thing that men are currently, globally, being stripped of, and that is their masculinity, which is perhaps the most important thing, as it will leave them without defense in this upcoming matriarchal system. While feminists portrayed the getting rid of toxic masculinity as a halfway decent suggestion, the radical feminists took it into their own ideology and morphed it into getting rid of masculinity, or getting rid of all men.
Feminizing hormone therapy. Feminizing hormone therapy is an option that can help people who are transgender fulfill their affirmed feminine gender identity and feel more comfortable in their bodies.
Since you cannot get rid of men that easily, the way they go about it is by start taking men's right away from them. Then you push the agenda of making the world believe that genders don't exist, or that there are thousands of genders. This paved the way for people to choose their own gender. But it also made it possible for feminist indoctrinated parents to change the sex of their children. With such a vast number of single mothers, many of them being feminists, we now see an explosion of mothers trying to push their 5-year-old into becoming a girl.
You're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Since he expressed an interest in wearing girls' clothes, the mother began referring to him exclusively as her and even enrolled the child in school under a female name.
And I sent her a text and said, you know, are you actually telling James that he's a girl? And she's just replied simply yes.
He's now been accused by his ex-wife of abusing their child for not affirming him as transgender.
Although unclear if this behavior rises to the level of family violence at this time, the father's aggression is becoming more common and more intense.
What I'm prohibited from doing right now is trying to convince him that he's actually a boy.
And that's the way to go when you want to get rid of men. Influence the general opinion, create gender non-existence, or the 50+ and counting number of genders. Familiarize the general public with this idea, conditioning and promote transsexuality in particular, and then stimulate the puberty blockers and brainwashing mothers or parents to change their son's gender. Because the gender debate is such a trending topic these days, and because feminists really love to throw facts at people, I decided to search on the internet to see what the exact percentages of people that actually identify themselves as transgender. And the results on the graph are quite surprising. I call this the Brighton scale. According to this graph, statistics show that in 1971 only 0.4% identified itself as transgender. However, if we follow the graph, it shows a steady upward inclination from 1982 to 1992 and a small dip during the 90s. As you can see, the line dipped there and suddenly rise up again in 2017. Currently, in 2019, almost 89% of world population identifies itself as transgender. And the prognosis for 2025 is that the percentage of people identifying themselves as transgender will increase by another 12%, meaning, and I find this quite revelating, the total number will be even over 100% by 2030. But since I made this graph myself, it is not really valid in any way. More reliable statistics show a staggering 0.3% in Europe and a whopping 0.5% worldwide. So yes, children should have the right to receive all possible supporting measures, such as gender blockers, to prevent them from growing into the wrong gender.
In a recent survey, half of them acknowledged that they had been diagnosed with depression, 38% acknowledged thinking about suicide. So I was wanting to know whether there is any current consideration of including puberty blockers under the PBS.
There are a number of other products that you have mentioned that are aimed at
With the rise and spreading of modern radical feminism, many mothers, oftentimes single mothers, will push normal boys into this trending transgender program, probably unaware of the damage they are causing the child, or rather not giving a damn.
This is Nico.
Hello.
This is Margareta, and this is Nika.
The gender-neutral pronoun hen is now commonly used by most Swedes.
Today, är du hon, han eller hen idag? Ska jag säga hon eller hen? If they should call you hon, han eller hen. Han?
Hen.
Hen. You want them to call you hen?
Like him, yes.
Would you like to have hair that short? No. Why not?
Hold still.
Hey, Mika, why don't you like it when people ask hen? When you ask Mika about gender, Mika doesn't always seem to want to talk about it.
Kore is actually the only other kid we know in Örebro who was assigned male at birth, who also has long hair.
Now he has started to say that he's a girl. And the other day he's a boy and sometimes he's a cat.
Men idag är jag en kille.
Idag är du en kille. Okay.
Sleeping Beauty says no.
Yeah.
Lesbian mums.
The problem today in Sweden is with the boys. Our boys fail in school, not the girls. Our boys are committing suicide, not the girls. So the problem today in Sweden is with the boys. If you have this law that you should treat boys like hens, it implies that you should not behave like the boy you were born to be.
This is the trending old-left doctrine practiced in school nowadays. It consists of a wide array of femininity-inclined programs, which by now border to a religious conviction. The current social justice politically correct doctrine, with its own 10 commands being: honor thy left, thou shalt be feminists, thou shalt be quickly offended, remember to protest, honor thy mother, thou shalt not grill, thou shalt be entitled, thou shalt not joke, thou shalt clean the oceans from plastic and tell everyone about it, thou shalt report men. Your male children being mentally conditioned, they are born in sin, as they are rapists by default. Your male children being forced to participate in classes where transsexual homosexuals, in drag, teach your children, for instance, the queer alphabet or the gay BCs.
At the Adams Morgan Community Center in Washington, D.C. recently, parents and their tiny tots sat patiently. The day's literary leader is a larger-than-life drag queen.
Everybody wave to each other, make a friend next to you, okay?
Author Michelle T. first created Drag Queen Story Hour in San Francisco in 2015. Today, readings take place at libraries, museums, and other cultural centers in more than 30 cities across the country. The point, Amy said, is to create safe spaces for anyone interested in participating.
LGBTQ kids often don't see themselves reflected in the broader culture.
That was loud.
Children sat on the floor while their parents sat in chairs or stood in the back of the room. They heard stories and messages about
acceptance, diversity, not bullying.
My name is Blackberry. I'm a bearded drag queen. That means I'm a lady with lots of facial hair. Do you want to touch my hair? No. Make kids that aren't used to seeing something like me more comfortable to seeing it.
I just love drag queens in general. It's a great opportunity to combine having a little one and enjoying like the performance of drag.
I think it's important that we see different people.
I just want to expose them to things they don't get to see every day and want it to become the more normal and more accepted.
They've never seen a drag queen before, so I thought it was a good chance to see one.
This story time is great because it tells kids like that being yourself is okay.
This program is geared towards kids 10 years old and younger.
Let's turn around and shake your butt. Shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em. And shake your butt. Shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em. And shake your butt. Shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em, shake 'em. And shake your butt. Shake 'em, 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 shake 'em.
One of those drag queens, Tatiana Malanina, is really Alberto Garza, a child sex offender.
Oh.
In 2008, he was convicted of assaulting an 8-year-old boy.
And where your child now has to study the entire LGBT, IQCA, PGN, GFNBA catalogue. Once young boys are convinced that they are girls, it's a parent or single mother and doctor guided procedure from puberty blockers to the actual transformation into a woman. However, this is just a small percentage of the gender transformation. Think of Silverman's line, "Sorry, it's a boy." These kind of commercials are a small part of influencing the general consensus. It is not a secret that we are steered into a certain direction when it comes to forming opinions. You are probably very aware of the social control, which George Orwell predicted correctly, if not 30 years too early. The trending Orwellian-styled vegan crusade literally converts men under coercion to abandon meat and replace it for soy.
I don't give a get out!
They are commonly referred to as soy boys. Not all soy boys are born soy boys. Many young men are now strangely but surely morphed into these female-like, submissive, estrogen-endowed characters.
Hey Fruitbat, so I just woke up and I was thinking about something in bed, which I think about quite often, and that's where the people who continue to eat meat and dairy, even though they know the impact of their diet choices on the planet, on the animals, they've watched Earthlings, they know all the facts, they've been educated, but they choose to continue eating animal products, whether they actually deserve to continue living.
What would you do? How would you respond? How would you feel about this person? This person who knows all the facts and yet still continues to cause harm and suffering and death to animals, to the environment, to other people and to himself.
Vegans think they're superior to us meat eaters. Vegans think they're better than us meat eaters. Well, I hate to break it to you, but we are better than you. It does make you superior. But that doesn't mean that you can't step up and join the superior crew.
100% hands down, we now see ourselves superior to our former selves. No question about it. What you see today is not how we used to be. We look at our former selves as disgusting. Are we better people now? Hell yes. It's insane to think that we're not better people now. We are in every which way.
It's just that the women seem to be addicted to excessively showing the outside world how much compassion and empathy they have.
We care now. We care about other animals. We care about people sharing this planet with us. We care about the environment. We care about...
The most troubling modifying of male to me is male modifying by forced dietary alteration. This is where things start to look grim. Veganism soy contains estrogen-like compounds and thus may lower testosterone levels. Soy, with its estrogenic properties, thus seems to be the counterpart of meat, which increases testosterone levels. Although the debate on the soy estrogen effect on males is still ongoing, it may not be the best move for men to make. Swapping the male hormone balancing red meat for a potentially female hormone filled plant like soy. Doctors warn for the soy estrogen effects on children, which may even be a lot stronger for babies. From real life experience, I can confirm, and all female hospital staff were discouraging women to breastfeed their boys. Instead, a soy formula was recommended, and this may cause the baby male having a huge amount of estrogen circulating through their bodies. A doctor claimed that the estrogen effects on male babies would be 20,000 times stronger than on adult males. Since there's no scientific evidence to back this up, I would only advise to keep this in mind when you feed your baby boy soy milk. When women decide to divorce, they usually don't only take his possessions, but also their child. This marks the moment where the man becomes defathered and basically is fired from being a dad. This has a huge impact on him being a man, thus on his masculinity, as the social environment will dismiss him as being a good father and disqualify him of being a man. Almost any man is familiar with the phenomenon where his female partner tries to change him into the type of individual that she wants him to be, killing his ego, meaning altering all features which made him the person he is today. Many of the men have gone through this particular final stage of morphing a man into an unresisting soul, where the female is dominating every aspect of the relation, until she has had enough and start wreaking havoc on his own expense. Some men commit suicide along the way. In fact, many men are committing suicide after concluding they have not only been stripped from their possessions and children, but also their manhood. Today I read in one of the comments on my video, if feminazis like Clementine Ford are the future, I will gear up for war. In fact, many men are now arming themselves for what they see as a war on men. Then let's analyze the meaning of the phrase war on men. When men are taken away their human rights, their possessions and their children and their masculinity, and then being silenced or imprisoned when they resist, what should we call this? It certainly doesn't sound like peace for men in any case. There has been years of this propaganda regurgitating this female-entitled rubbish via the media, showing women as these superheroes and men as these utterly dumb losers, until many started to believe the picture as presented to us. There has been the depriving and annihilation of male rights. There is seizure of male property. There is seizure of male income. The capture of their children. There is captivation and detention upon resistance. Men better stay either indoors or when they leave the house, if they still have one, they better be sure to record themselves 24/7 to prove their innocence when reported by these women. The death toll, as indicated on the stats of male suicide rates per year, a stat that I assure you I didn't make myself. I leave it up to you to decide whether or not these are the signs of a free society or the signs of an invaded society. According to the general opinion, this is called the fight for equality. According to many men, this indeed is an invasion. And if it is, men going their own way would be the resistance within this invaded area. One country's army plundering or taking over a city or piece of land in another country is an invasion. If you change the word country to gender, it would read, one's gender's army plundering or taking over a city or piece of land of another gender is an invasion. According to many men, this is what is happening to them right now. And there are hundreds of thousands of cases of occupying and invasion. And they happen to be extremely well documented, not by case studies, but by the countless verdicts against men. You won't get it any more precisely documented than this. I'm observing the man's answer to the female aggression towards them. They seem to have successfully removed these Western pussy shackles. Some even went monk. They are avoiding any contact with women in general. And like most people will probably agree, if a man is prepared to go monk, something of a very serious nature has to occur. And never has it been so serious in our society. The risk of getting reported, incarcerated, and destroyed has become too big. The soy boys have morphed into these clones of women and brainwashed into this ideology that male babies, as soon as they are born, have to be deprived of breastfeeding, to be cultivated and groomed by transgenders in drag in their schools, indoctrinated by gender spectrum classes, deprived of all food which stimulate any male hormones, and to take their place into the matriarchal society as foot soldiers for these radical feminists. Where feminism was the revolution, Me Too was the coup d'etat, all the above is the occupying and invasion of this radical feminism ideology. The modern radical feminists seem to overlook one thing. If you declare war on men, be aware to whom you declare your war. Men have had about 120,000 years to practice warfare. Now what do you think when men say no more of this? However, if this will go on for another decade, there won't be any more real men left, as all men will be indoctrinated by their mothers, feminist friends, school teachers, doctors and soy.
Castrar al 25% de la población. ¿A qué está diciendo ella que no? No, pero si a nosotros nos cortan el clítoris y no pasa nada. Hacer que los hombres dejen de gobernar para que nos den el poder a nosotros. ¿Voluntariamente lo van a hacer? No. La mano, la castración selectiva. Si tú le cortas los cuernos a los niños a nacer, no solo no van a poder tener hijos, sino que no van a desarrollar una serie de hormonas que no le van a dar fuerza física. Y yo tengo mi idea de otro mundo. ¿Cómo? Se llamará Mantia.
And I think that the radical feminists would have to agree that this is what they want, and this is what they are hoping for. No real men left to fight their agenda. Because if there are any real men left, we all know how this is going to end. So now we have covered the basics. Let's start with the video.